Rome's secret. It wasn't courage, it was debt. Casual version. We usually think Rome built a massive empire purely through courage, right? Well, the truth behind the scenes is a bit different. Rome was a lot more money-driven than we imagine. Behind those powerful legions, there was a high-cost system. Food for soldiers, weapons, roads, costs for horses, siege machines. Almost all of it meant serious money. So how did Rome cover all these expenses? That's exactly where the story gets interesting. In the early days, everything was simple. When Rome was growing, the army was made entirely of citizens. Anyone who owned land was drafted, brought their own personal weapons, fought, and went back home when the war ended. But as Rome expanded, wars became more frequent and farther away. The "go for a year and come back" era was over. They needed professionally trained soldiers, which meant the Roman state had to pay them. The government started paying small salaries. And then the real twist happened. Conquest turned into a salary model. New land equals new taxes. New taxes equals new money. New money equals new wars. As Rome developed, it turned war into a system that generated its own income. But it doesn't end there. The real bomb: debt. During long, major wars, like the Punic Wars against Carthage, the Roman state borrowed money from investors. And these weren't small amounts. We're talking huge loans. Who provided this money? Rome's high financial class at the time. The equites. These wealthy people didn't give money out of charity. Of course they wanted something in return. Interest payments, tax collection rights, business privileges on new lands. In a short time, war turned into a business and investment model. The more profitable it became, the more Rome went to war. Sound familiar? How did this system transform Rome? Over time, generals gained power because they could promise spoils. Senators started earning income from war. Private companies called publicani took over logistics and tax systems and multiplied their wealth. Honestly, Rome turned into a toga-wearing military-industrial complex. When crisis got close, what did they do? Basically, they printed money. Starting with Nero, Rome's currency, the denarius, was constantly diluted. The silver content was reduced. Money lost value. Inflation exploded. The system collapsed. The wealthy hid their riches in land and slaves. And the poor? They paid taxes with devalued money, meaning the burden fell on their backs once again. A parallel to today? Unfortunately, yes. Governments take on massive debt. Wars are mostly financed by borrowing. Central banks quietly dilute the currency. Defense contracts enrich certain groups. The economy can't stop expanding because the system is designed that way. It's not exactly the same, but the logic is very similar. Rome's lesson is clear. An economy built on long-term expansion eventually crashes into a wall. Land runs out. Resources run out. Enemies run out. But expenses don't. When income drops, the state starts squeezing its own people. More taxes, more money printing, more pressure. And to distract the public, bread and circuses. Sound familiar? So what do? It's not easy to change the established order, and keeping your eyes open is your biggest power. Don't think inflation is random. Don't fall for those who sell debt as freedom. Know that climbing to the top can't last forever. Learn financial history. Watch what's happening, and always follow the money. Who takes? Who gives? Who pays? And history shows this clearly. Empires don't collapse because of their enemies. They collapse when the math stops working. If what I shared gave you a new perspective, stick around. History always speaks. You just need to listen.